Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody is doing okay. I wanted to do a video today that is very important. Um, it's very important now more than ever that we are to be clinging to Jesus Christ. And there is a very good book in the Bible that I want to go through right now that really ties uh, what is kind of needed here at the end of the age and what we're going through. Um, I'm going to keep this as quick as I can because I know a lot of people don't like long videos, but this is very important and one that I pray that you guys will be blessed and able to be able to glean from this. I know that I don't know if some of you know or not, but I when God woke me up from this world, he threw me into living by the law, living in the Mosaic Law for about 3.5, 4 years. And throughout those times, I traveled to Israel, all because of how I was led by the Spirit at the time to understand the Old Testament, and spent a lot of time each year in Israel, understanding the changes of the years and understanding the barley and understanding what God, what His plan was for the 12 tribes of Israel, essentially, and understanding how to determine the new year, and etc. So this, my journey has been different than most, but essentially, he has given me a lot of understanding and knowledge of Leviticus 23 and essentially a lot of the ways of the Mosaic Law. And I'm so grateful and thankful that he continued to work with me and woke me up to even further to the point now where I have more understanding of the New Testament in terms of grace versus law. So where I'm going with this is the Book of Ruth. The Book of Ruth is so filled with the symbolic or spiritual or parallel, whatever word you want to use, of the bride of Christ as a Gentile in the New Testament. And what I want to do is I kind of want to go through the first three chapters, and I want to show you some things, and I want to encourage people to heed these words, because we are in time right now where there's lots of things happening, as we know, the mark of the beast and whatnot. And we need to be clinging to Jesus Christ. We need to be watching for him every single day. We need to be doing everything in obedience to him. And we need to be edifying the body as we go. But I pray that, like I said, I pray this study helps you. I pray this message gives you some deeper understanding. And where I would like to start is in the book of Ruth. Okay, the book of Ruth is one of my favorite books. Ruth is a absolute representation of the bride of Christ. Um, Boaz is used as a representation of Jesus Christ himself in this book. And I know there's many books in the Old Testament that do this, but this is just a wonderful replication of it. And Ruth was a Gentile, and we are Gentiles now in the New Testament, and we are being grafted in, and we are going to be into the marriage supper of the Lamb. And this is what we have in the book of Ruth. Okay, so I'm going to read some verses, and I'm going to tie things in for you. And I think it's just a wonderful, beautiful study, and I hope that it, like I said, I hope that you get something from it. So here we have, okay, in the first chapter we have. And I encourage you to get into the book and open up the first chapter. We'll go through 1, 2, and 3 chapters of it. But we have right away, we have judges and judged in the land. There was famine in the land, okay? And they had to leave, okay? Naomi and her husband, they had to leave, and their sons. And they had to leave. There was a situation there that they had to get out, and they had to flee. And it's really interesting that we can take that and look at that, what's going on today, how we have a famine in the land in terms of understanding of the knowledge of Jesus Christ. And on top of that, we have the mark of the beast going everywhere. So we are to flee essentially spiritually into Jesus Christ and come out of the world. We have a situation here in one that, people are dying. Naomi's husband dies, her 2 sons die. And there's death And again, we're seeing this today. We're seeing death, and with the mark of the beast going everywhere, and it's going to continue to get worse. But the beginning is essentially Naomi is obviously destroyed. Her husband and her two sons have died. Clearly, absolutely devastating. And her two daughter-in-laws are now in a situation where they can go back to their Gentile nations, or they can stay with Naomi into Judah and Bethlehem. And it's an incredible understanding between the two daughter-in-laws, Ruth and Orpah, and how it shows the division. It shows a division, a splitting between two daughters-in-law that wanted to continue on into the ways of God, and one that fell away. And we'll start in reading 110 here. Actually, no, what we'll do is we'll start in 1:8. And it says, "And Naomi said to her two daughters-in-law, Go each return to your house of your mother. May Jehovah deal kindly with you as you have done with the dead and with me. May Jehovah grant you that you find rest, each in the house of her husband." And she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and they wept. Okay. "And they said to her, Surely we will go back with you to your place." Okay, so right off the bat, you have both of them saying, "Oh, no, 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 we're going to go. We're going to come with you. It's terrible, and we have nothing else to do, so we're going to go." Okay, we can go back to the seeds in the New Testament, where he scatters the seed, and some grow up into thorny, and some grow up into stony, and some grow up into good soil. And right away, we have them both saying, "No, we're going to come with you." And then we follow up with, "And Naomi said, Turn back, my daughters. Why should you go with me? Are there yet sons to me in my belly, that they should be husbands for you? Turn back, my daughters. Go, for I am too old to belong to a husband, though I should say, There is hope for me, and I should be tonight with a husband, and also I should bear sons." She says, turn back, turn back. Okay. And it's a testing. It's a testing here that God is giving Naomi and Ruth and Orpah. And what a testing it is to fall away or turn back, and to see who's actually going to go through with in today's world of following right on through, enduring right to the end. Don't take the easy way out. Don't fall away and succumb to the mark of the beast and the mark of the beast system. Okay, even though that there is options to turn back and to fall away, this is having their hearts tested, just like we're having our hearts now tested. Okay, so in 13, will you wait for them, that they may grow up? Will you shut yourselves up for them not to belong to a husband? No, my daughters, for it is much more bitter for me than for you. For the hand of Jehovah has gone out against me. And they lifted up their voice and wept again. Okay, so again, they're very upset. Again, it's devastating. Again, they're in a situation that is at a crossroads in their life, no different than us today. Okay, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her. Okay, so here's the split. Here's the division. Orpah's leaving. She's too hard. She cannot do it. She doesn't want to do it. She wants to go back to her world. She wants to go back to her life. She wants to go back to the remember Lot moment. Okay, Lot's wife's moment. Okay, very sad, but very, very important to understand. All right, and clung here is 1692, and it means to abide, stand fast, pursue hard. So Ruth decided to stand fast, pursue hard, and abide to the side of Naomi. There's a very important reason why she did that, as we know, but even more important because she wanted to serve the living God, Jesus Christ. Okay? And we see here, but Ruth clung to her. And she said, Naomi says, see, your sister-in-law has turned back to her people, to her gods. You turned back after your sister-in-law. 3 times now, Naomi tested them through God to have an opportunity for Ruth to turn back, to fall away. 3 times. And she stood firm. She steadfast. Orpah went back to her old life. She went back to her gods and her nation and her people, and she fell away. And we look at that today. Again, the spiritual significance of that is astronomical with what we're dealing with right now. Okay, and it continues. And Ruth said, "Do not beg me to leave you, to turn back from following you, saying, I don't want to. I want to be with you. For where you go, I will go. And where you stay, I will stay. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God." Okay? Right here, she's showing her allegiance to Jesus Christ. She's showing her allegiance to staying firm in the situation, obviously physical in this book of Ruth, but also spiritual, more importantly, in the time frame and the whole heart perspective of what Christ is looking for, standing strong. Okay, and what happens is we have where you die, 17, where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May Jehovah do to me and more so if anything but death part from you and me. Okay, so she is basically saying, I am willing to die to be with you. I am willing to die to continue down this path. I'm willing to die for you. And it's huge, so symbolic for Jesus Christ, because this is who she is. She is the bride. She is the bride of Christ. Shows the characteristics of who the bride is supposed to be. And when you look at 17, where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May Jehovah do to me and more so if anything happens and we part. You can tie this right to Revelation 12:11. And Revelation 12:11 says, and I'm going to it right now. I just got my book here instead of the e-sword, but it says, and they overcame him because of the blood of the Lamb and because of the word of their testimony, and they did not love their soul unto death. Okay, these are the ones that are that overcome. These are the ones that are harpazoed in this situation, in this scripture. Okay, they did not love their lives to death. Okay, this is a very good parallel between what is said here by Ruth and who the bride is in the New Testament in Revelation 12:11. Okay, wonderful, wonderful correlation there. All right, we're going to continue. And I'm going to touch on 19. And we're going to see here that Ruth remained faithful. Okay, she remained faithful all the way through, right on through to the end, where she is redeemed by her kinsman redeemer, which is Boaz, which is a representation of Jesus Christ as our redeemer, as our kinsman redeemer. But let's get a little bit of understanding here so we can tie this together. So she enters in now with Naomi, and they're going into where? And they went, both of them, until they came into Bethlehem. Okay, and it happened as they were in the city of Bethlehem, all the city was moved at them. Okay, where did they go? Okay, guys, remember, put on your spiritual eyes here, put on your understanding. Okay, put on where we're going with this. They went into Bethlehem. Is that a coincidence? No, it's not. Jesus Christ was born in Bethlehem. Okay, you see, it's going to be all tied together. Okay, so they're going into Bethlehem. They're going to, Ruth is going to meet Boaz. Okay, and where's Boaz? He's in Judah. He's in Bethlehem. Okay, representation of Jesus Christ himself. Okay, and I want to move forward so we get a bit of an understanding of the timing. And we're going to tie this in together to a little bit of the appointed times. We go into 22, and Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess and her daughter-in-law with her, who returned from the fields of Moab. And they came to Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. Okay, huge indicator here. Okay, barley harvest. When is the barley harvest? It's the first fruits. Okay, it is Jesus Christ. He is the first fruit, and his first fruits after him. So it's not a coincidence here that she's going to go into the field and she's going to glean. Okay, she's going to glean in the field during the barley harvest. Okay, the first fruits. Just like Jesus Christ's bride is going to be the barley, is going to be the first fruits. Okay, they are going to be the ones that are harpazoed or raptured. All right. Um, so we understand now that we get a little understanding here that now we're in Bethlehem, okay, representation of Jesus Christ's birth, and Boaz being from Bethlehem and Judah, and now they're going in, and it's the barley harvest, and now she's going to reap. She's going to go into the fields now, and now she's going to meet Boaz. All right. So here we have. Let's go to chapter 2, verse 6 and 7 as we continue down this wonderful study of understanding Ruth being the Gentile bride. Okay. And the young man who had been set over the reapers answered and said, "She is a young woman of Moab." Here's Boaz asking who this girl is, who came from with Naomi from the fields of Moab. And she said, "Please let me glean, and I shall gather among the sheaves after the reapers." And she came and has remained since the morning, even till now. She sat um, and even until now. Okay, so with a little bit of understanding here, to if you don't understand this, the strangers and the Gentiles, the ones that took up the ways of the Israelites, they could glean from what fell from the barley, okay, from the stalks, from the grain. They would glean up from the ground. They were not able to go in and actually reap like the natural borns or whatever the case may be, okay? It was left for the strangers, okay? So she came into the field and she started to gather up like a Gentile, because that's what she was. It's so symbolic of us today as the New Testament being grafted in as a Gentile to Jesus Christ. We are Gentiles being grafted in. We are picking up what was left because of the unbelief of the Jews, unbelief of his people. We are now being grafted in because of this situation, and us being able to now be the ones that are becoming last became first. And really, really, really symbolic here, understanding of what this means, okay? And Boaz said to Ruth, "Do you not hear, my daughter? Do not go and glean another field. Also, do not pass through this, and you shall stay close to my young women." So Boaz, as a representation of Jesus Christ, says, whoa, 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 do not go to any other field. Do not pass through. Wow, what does this mean? It means stay within him, stay in his bosom, stay in his area, stay in his field, his harvest, which is the barley harvest, which is the first fruits. Okay. Do you see this? Do you understand what is being said here? Okay. And we go on. Okay. And you shall stay close to my young women. Okay. You shall, again, is cleave. Okay. Meaning to stand fast, abide into his people, his bride. Okay. It's just incredible. All right. Now, continuing in 8 and 9. Your eyes shall be on the field which they shall reap, and you shall not go after them. Have I not commanded the young men not to touch you? Okay, again, it is so much here that I could touch on. But when you are thirsty, then you shall go to the vessels and shall drink that which the young men shall draw. Okay, she is being treated as if she is what? Is a natural born Israelite. Okay, natural born Jew. She is being treated. She's being grafted in, guys. Okay, as the bride. Okay, she's being set up as the bride, as the Gentile. Okay, wonderful thing to see here. Okay, when you have eyes and ears to understand. Continuing on, not going to be too much more here because it's already been almost 20 minutes, but we have in 17, okay? And she gleaned in the field until evening and beat out that which she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley, okay? This is truly incredible, okay? This is all tied to the appointed times and the Christ's return, okay? This is all coming back to his appointed times and when he's returning, okay? Some people believe it's going to be Pentecost. Some people believe it's going to be trumpets. But here it shows us that This was during the Passover season because it's the barley harvest, okay? And here is a representation of her that she gleaned into the field until evening and she beat out, okay? Beat out the what? The grain, okay? This is symbolic of showing us that this was what Christ had to go through, right? Being beat up, being scourged, being beat upon. Okay, this would be a representation of the wave sheaf offering of the grain being beat out and offered on the third day after 3 days and 3 nights as the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Okay, don't have a lot of time to go into that deep study, but it is following the patterns of the appointed times, and everything is done in perfect architectural form the way Jesus made it. All right. So as we continue, okay, so she stays firm. She stands strong. She's now going to be in the position now that she's wanting to be redeemed by Boaz, the representation of Jesus Christ, okay? What a faithful bride that she is. Now, chapter 3, 2 through 18, okay? This entire chapter is filled with so much fruit. It's unbelievable. But I'm going to touch on a few things, okay? It's just a beautiful story about how Ruth is humbling herself, walking in meekness and lowliness in the presence of Boaz, which is the representation of Jesus Christ, her husband, okay? She is just unbelievably humble, and she's going to do the most humble act ever, which is going down on her knees and to the feet of Boaz, and essentially showing us about being at the foot of Jesus Christ. Okay, and here we have in 3:1, and her mother-in-law Naomi said to her, "My daughter, do I not seek rest with you?" Rest in who? Rest in Jesus Christ. And now it is not, and now is not Boaz of your kindred with whose young woman you have been? Behold, he is winnowing the threshing floor of barley tonight, and you shall here very important. Okay, he's threshing the barley. Okay, it's a huge symbolic meaning to this. Okay, but listen to what she says, and you shall bathe and anoint yourself and put your garments on and go down to the threshing floor. Okay. Wow. Do we see this? Do we understand this? She's getting a wedding garment on. Naomi's setting her up for to look and be anointed. Okay. To have her clean linen on. Okay, to go down and meet who? Boaz. To go down and meet who? Us, to go up into the bride at the harpazo to meet Jesus Christ in the air, to be with him forever and ever with our white, pure linen garments, guys. Okay, huge here. Okay, wonderful to see. All right. Um, and it goes on. Do not let yourself be known to the man Boaz until he has finished eating and drinking. Okay. Just incredible. Let's continue. Let's go down to verse 10. And he said, blessed, this now she's come, she's humbled herself now to Boaz, made known, humbled herself at the feet of Boaz, in like a representation of us supposed to be humbling ourselves to Jesus Christ, okay? And he said, blessed be you of Jehovah. My daughter, you have dealt more kindly at the latter end than at the beginning. Whoa, at the latter end of the beginning. Do you see what this means, the spiritual perspective of this? Many that will become first will be last, last will become first. Okay, do you see this? Let me read it again. You have blessed you of Jehovah, my daughter, you have dealt more kindly at the latter end than at the beginning. Not to go after the young men, either poor or rich. Okay, huge meaning to that. And now, my daughter, do not fear. All that you say, I will do to you. For all the gate of my people know that you are an able woman. So here, Boaz is telling her, do not fear. You have entered into the marriage. You've entered into my love. You've entered in now to the wedding feast of the Lamb in a spiritual New Testament understanding. Just like Jesus Christ says, do not fear. Okay, all that you say, all that I have said, now come and it will be given to you. Your crown of life has been given, has been offered to you. Okay, it's unbelievable. And then what does he say here? that I want to tie to Proverbs 31, 30 to 31, which is the absolute resume of the bride. What does he say? We can see this, it's being tied right here. Um, and it says, for all the in the gate of my people know that you are an able woman. Okay, now let's go here and read it. Proverbs 31, 10 through 31 gives you the resume of who the bride is. And look what it says in 30 and 31. Favor, deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman feareth the Lord. She will be praised. Okay. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Okay. Do you see that, guys? Do you see how it's tied to Jesus Christ spiritually, and who we are as Gentiles being grafted in? Okay. Fearing the Lord. Okay. Being able to, our fruits being able to be ushered in through the gates, and people will know that we are able women or able people, able bride. All right, it's all tied to this. It's just incredible. And as you read through the rest of 3 and 4, we understand that it's the midnight hour. It's the midnight hour, which is incredible to me to see the possibility of her going in the midnight hour to humble herself at the feet of Boaz. It kind of ties to me of Christ saying that we don't know what hour he comes, as it could be midnight. It's a little something there that could be a little trail for us, but just wonderful. And then as we understand, he says to her, now surely it is true that I am a kinsman redeemer, and I will redeem you. Okay, so he then goes on and he redeems her, and he pays the price to redeem her. Okay, he pays the wages, he pays the money to redeem her, which is so symbolic and spiritual perspective of Christ paying the price for us to be rekindled with him, for us to be with him. He paid the ultimate price. What a wonderful book, and how it's tied to the bride of Jesus Christ, and how, we have to be clinging to Jesus now more than anything, guys. We are in the times of the mark of the beast, and I pray that we are all clinging and not turning back like Orpah did. Okay, stay firm, stand fast in Jesus Christ. May this bless you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.